Welcome back to the fourth match of the second half of day one here at the Alliance Tournament. We've got the R0NIN, I was almost said RUR there, versus Power of Two. For the Power of Two, we have 2 Badger Mark IIs, Tyrex would be proud, 3 Tengus, 2 Drakes, a Scimitar, and 2 Dramules.
The R0NIN have almost an entirely Mimitar setup. They've got what is becoming a very favored ship of these matches. They've got 3 Sleipnirs, 2 Cyclones, a Scimitar, Curse, 2 Thrashers, and a Saber. As in the pre-qualifiers, the Tengu was the most popular ship, Cyclone second place. We're seeing in this match the most popular ships that have been fielded so far on both sides.
We've now got the countdown with 5 seconds left. It's worth noting that both teams warp most of their ships in at max range except for the Dramules for Power of Two. They also warp from opposite beacons, or almost opposite beacons, so they're quite far away from each other. That's going to benefit the Tengu team immensely.
Yeah, that's what I think too. What do you think about those Badger Mark IIs?
I think they can work for E-War. You're usually better off just with the Cormorant, but they also just have style points, really.
Yeah, I love seeing a couple industrials on the field. And the missiles are away, the guns are firing, and let's see what happens here. It looks like a Thrasher is already down for the R0NIN.
Yeah, it's surprising that they decided to go after the Thrashers early, but that was probably a good choice because they were easily able to kill it before it got reps from the Scimitar. We're seeing all of the Sleipnirs and Cyclones from R0NIN heading straight in, and they've now gotten on top of at least some of the Power of Two team.
As these Mimitar ships get right on top of the supposedly kiting Caldari missile team of Power of Two. Let's see if they're going to be able to break these tanks.
Meanwhile, we've had a second R0NIN Thrasher go down, and now Power of Two is working on a Saber.
Yeah, the Saber is taking armor damage. He is down already that fast. Power of Two coming out swinging. The R0NIN cannot keep up.
Meanwhile, the R0NIN has gotten on top of the Scimitar for Power of Two and has it very far down. They've got it just went into armor now very quickly. There's a lot of DPS being put up by these Sleipnirs.
Oh, he's already half armor. He's going down real quick. I don't think he's going to be up for much longer here.
Once that goes down, they'll be able to finish off whatever ships they get on top of quickly. But getting on top of those Tengus that'll probably be spreading out is going to be quite a task.
Yep.
Not having a Hugin is going to really hurt them in this matchup. That's why I like to have a Hugin with these Sleipnir teams.
The PWR team is trying to get away, and the R0NIN team is chasing them as fast as they can.
Meanwhile, a Cyclone has now gone down for the R0NIN. These Tengu missiles are doing a lot of damage to the battle cruisers. They can do full damage, essentially.
Very quickly. It seems like the Scimitar on the R0NIN side just cannot get his reps going before his allies are almost dead already.
And Power of Two is now working on the second Cyclone. It looks like the R0NIN's trying to finish off it, or trying to start killing a Drake for Power of Two, but they've only got a little bit of damage on it at this point.
The second Cyclone of the R0NIN is in half armor and dropping like Ravy's prom date.
It's now into low armor. It's going to be very difficult for the R0NIN to catch up to all of these Tengus before they lose all their ships. That's the great thing about the Tengu teams. When you kite with them, you can just spread out, and the other team has to waste a lot of time moving.
Another Cyclone down, Power of Two maintaining range, missiles coming after him, and the R0NIN's bleeding more and more.
It also looks like one of the Sleipnirs for the R0NIN either burned out his micro-warp drive or just doesn't have it on because he's only going 216 meters a second, well away from the rest of the fight. My guess is he probably overloaded for too long and ended up burning it out. But the only way to find out will be to see what they post about it later.
Doesn't seem like R0NIN are making any attempt to go after those Badgers at all. You think that's a good idea?
I think if you can take down the Drakes, who are probably going to have a lot of damps and do some damage, then go for it. But I would have expected, that it would have been easiest to get on top of those Badgers quickly.
The Drakes are well known for their ability to have a really strong tank, but they have a lot of mids, and if you don't tank them, there could be a lot of E-War in there, so it's kind of a gamble whether or not you should shoot at them. We did see earlier untanked E-War Drakes were pretty successful. And,
yeah. With the speed that they're going down, I would guess that these are very lightly tanked, if anything. But having a lot of damps on a Drake can be an excellent setup. Voltron last year rocked the damp Drakes to some excellent success.
And a Drake on the Power of Two in structure and going down.
Meanwhile, a Dramule from Power of Two has also gone down very quickly.
Yeah, it seems like the R0NIN are going to get a few more kills in at least.
But one of their Sleipnirs is almost down, just taking constant missile fire. With those Tengus, it really doesn't matter where in the field your opponents are, because the Tengus can hit well out of over 100 kilometers, hit just about anywhere in the arena.
And they are maintaining a pretty good range while the R0NIN team is chasing them.
We're seeing a whole group of drones, some shield rep drones and some damage drones, and some ECM drones as well, hanging around the Sleipnir for the R0NIN.
The R0NIN did switch to the Badge Mark IIs and took them down in quite short order, leaving nothing but 3 Tengus and a Drake for the power of 2's time.
Sounds like they may be listening to you, Astro.
It's possible.
Sometimes a good choice.
Yes. Not usually a good choice. Don't do anything I say. The Scimitar for the R0NIN is out of shields. He has about 25% armor left, but he is getting repped.
He's tanking pretty well. There's no shield drones around him, so that must be an active tank on him.
Well, we know with active tanks, it can't keep it up forever. So,
with the speed he's going, he's also afterburner fit, which is going to be negating a lot of the damage coming from these heavy missiles.
Very little damage showing on the power of 2's remaining ships yet. The R0NIN are chasing them. The Scimitar is down.
Yeah, that's going to really hurt. At this point, the power of 2 Tengus will just be able to kill the R0NIN ships at their leisure. It looks like the R0NIN's trying to get damage onto the remaining Drake for power of 2 now.
That Drake is in about half shield. Tengus are all at full shield, and some damage from those missiles is starting to pop up on the R0NIN team.
Yep, we're seeing Krivas, the Sleipnir for the R0NIN taking damage, and now its damage is ramping up significantly.
Looks like that Drake is getting neuted too from the curse.
Drake is just starting to enter armor now.
One of the Sleipnirs on the R0NIN side is down in low shields, and he's continuing to get pounded by missiles, but it looks like that Drake is going to go down for the power of 2 team first.
We're seeing newts from that curse coming off towards one of the Tengus as well. That Tengu getting within newt range of the curse is not a good idea, because now his micro warp drive will get shut down, and his hardeners quite soon after that.
Yeah, the Tengu's strength in these matches is their range, and as things get on top of them, things rapidly go bad, but still 3 Tengus alive in the power of 2, 3 Sleipnirs alive in a curse on the R0NIN side, but one of those Sleipnirs is in structure and taking damage.
Yeah, he's taking damage slowly at this point, but it looks like he's going to get finished off. It's actually coming a lot closer than I expected. Having a curse near the end of a match is an excellent addition to your team because everything gets capped out quite quickly. It makes it hard to run away, it makes it hard to run your hardeners, and even though the any tracking disruptors that curse has won't be useful at all against the Tengus, all those newts are still great assets for the team.
Curses are great ships, and I think they're strong at really any stage of a battle, but towards the end of a battle when there's only a couple ships left, I think that's when they're most effective.
And the Power 2 team may be listening to us because they're switched to the curse and are trying to get it down. It's taking a lot of damage quickly. The tank on it doesn't look to be all that strong. Not too surprising.
Yeah, the curse is now in low shield. The Sleipnirs on the R0NIN side still at full health, and the Tengus are not taking much damage at all on power 2.
You've got the one Tengu that's taking damage from a single Sleipnir on top of him, but only one Sleipnir is on top of him. The other one's quite a distance away, which can't be helping.
And the ships continue to circle, missiles continue to fly. The curse is now in structure and might drop, and he's down.
Yeah. The remaining drones we're seeing for power of 2 are all damage drones, which is going to be adding a lot to the DPS. The Sleipnirs have a pretty decent drone bay, which is one of the things that people often ignore about them.
Yeah, drones. We've been talking about drones and whether or not they're that useful, especially with the Galenti discussions we've been having today, but they're making quite a difference in this battle, it seems.
For some reason, one of the Sleipnirs for RUR has moved off away from the primary and towards a completely different Drake. I'm not sure what he's planning. He may be trying to get tackle so that Drake doesn't escape too far, but that's going to be reducing his damage on the primary significantly.
The Tengus, you mean. There's only 3 Tengus left on the power of 2 side versus 2 Sleipnirs on the R0NIN side.
And one of those 2 Sleipnirs is down to about 60% shields now.
With just these 2 Sleipnirs left, it's going to be difficult for them to get close enough to really threaten the Tengus at all. The Tengus are just kiting them from pretty good distance away and firing missiles. I think it's looking pretty good for the Power of 2's Tengu team at this point.
We're also seeing some E-War coming off those Tengus, most likely Damps, considering the type of setup they're using. And they're sending those off against the Sleipnir that isn't moving, the one that probably has its micro-warp drive burned out. So that Sleipnir is essentially a non-issue. Yeah. Once the Sleipnir that's taking fire right now goes down, I don't think RUR is going to be able to do any damage.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much over at this point. Personally, I really don't like these setups, these Caldari setups. They're all real tanky, real kitey, or real ECM-y, and any of those setups it's just not as much fun to watch as the more high-damage slugfest matches like the last one we watched with We Form Voltron.
Yeah, well, I agree. Voltron managed to make a very impressive and entertaining setup while also winning. But when it comes down to it, these teams are here to win. They're here for the massive ship prizes, and it's going to be a secondary importance to them to make it entertaining.
They're here to win, but we're here to watch, and I like to watch ships blow up. And speaking of ships blowing up, the Sleipnir is now out of shield in half armor, and he might be going down pretty soon.
Yeah, he should be gone soon. And meanwhile, that Tengu that's taking fire for power of 2 is stabilized pretty well. It looks like his passive shield tank is enough to keep him up against the remaining DPS.
41 seconds left. 1 Sleipnir versus 3 Tengus. I don't think there's going to be any more ships destroyed in this match. It looks like Power of 2 is going to win a pretty convincing victory over the R0NIN.
That Sleipnir is taking some pretty significant damage, but yeah, with only about 25 seconds left, he's probably going to survive the match. Being able to finish off the opposing team before the match finishes is something that the Tengu teams have been having some trouble doing.
Yeah.
And that's going to hurt you when you get the wins, which are great, but some of these tiebreakers are going to come down to points. And in that case, you want a higher DPS team.
Yeah, certainly wins are good, but points are the most important thing to have here. And I think that really benefits the teams, the high DPS teams, who are able to pull out the win. And time is up. Power of
the Sleipnir
2.
in structure.
Yeah, it was close. He did blow up, but I think he blew up after the timer ran out, so I don't know if they're going to get credit for that.
We'll have to see what the ISD people say about that.
See what they say about it. And that concludes this match. Power of 2 over the R0NIN, and we will go back to the commentators in the studio.